This K&H Dairy stands for my last name Keys and my partner Haycoop, Johan Haycoop. And we lease this dairy from Ronnie Land here outside of Mayo, Florida. And we started leasing this in February of 2012. So we've been here a little over 4 years. And we have about 700 cows here now. It's, you might call it a modified grazing operation. We use a relatively small amount of pasture. We supplement with dry hay and baleage and then a kind of a bulky grain mix. We've talked about using things in the past and heard about different products that had come through the system in the past, the bacterias. And so Randy was very confident that our system would be able to use this product. And we were looking not necessarily for odor control because we don't have a lot of houses around it, but that's been a benefit. And anytime you can control odor, that's good. But the main reason was to try to keep that crust from forming on the top and having a consistent. If we weren't using the MTM, we'd probably have to get in there every 3 to 4 weeks with the agitator and keep things stirred up. We haven't run the agitator for, I don't know, 4 or 5 months now. All winter long we haven't run it. And but we were getting a little crusting here recently, and so we stirred it up. And I think as when we get more and more of our summer rainfalls here and the material's a little more dilute, then we shouldn't have to touch it again for several more months. And the first thing we saw was that we had some solids that were, I believe, were sitting on the bottom. And when we started using the MTM, we could see gaseous material bubbling up to the top, and the crust was much thinner, not nearly as noticeable. So I think knowing that and knowing that the odor is a little bit less, and we haven't really had a chance to measure the agronomic benefits between phosphorus and nitrogen, but if what they say is true, that's just going to be an added benefit. Our system is pretty much outside. We're not enclosed in barns. I think that I'm not sure the ammonia is a big concern to us. I don't know that we have any health problems because of high ammonia levels or have had in the past. But if we can cut back on that and have that nitrogen in the manure, then it's definitely going to help our cropping. The Bermuda grass, this is a learning process for us because we've always purchased forages, and now we're doing the harvesting ourselves, watching fertilizer rates much closer than we've ever done. And if you see our fields now, we're in, this is the 1st of May, and normally we don't even think about making any baleage till June 1. But the field where we've been spreading manure all winter long, and there's been enough moisture and enough nutrients, we've got some Bermuda grass that's ready to harvest now. It's probably close to knee high, and we should get a good yield, and it should be very high quality. We haven't done probably a good enough job measuring the nutrients in manure up to this point, but I want to do that right away. And then we'll know a little bit more about how much manure we really need to be putting on in one field. We have about 90 acres that we can pump manure onto. But I'm thinking that as we get into this and we know a little bit more about the nitrogen and phosphorus levels in the manure, that we'll be able to use less manure on that 90 acres, and we'll be able to move that gun to another 40 acres and cut back further on our commercial fertilizer use. So that's what we're looking forward to. Before MTM came along, we had our agitator down at our other dairy about 140 miles away, and so we thought, boy, we got to get that thing up here and keep the crust broken up. So we spent all that time and effort to get it up here, and I'm glad we did, but we were expecting to have to use it probably at least once a month to keep the crust broken up. But we haven't used it for about 6 months now through the winter, and last summer we saw even better results with less crusting through the summertime than we did through the winter. So if we only have to use it every 4 or 5 months, that's just fine with me. And I think the MTM has made a big difference in the crusting of the lagoon.